can see the guys working on the aircraft here. They're two armourers from a company called SES who are based near Kemble, and we contract them to service and maintain the ejection seats for us. You can see Andy here as one of the armourers. He's removing a cartridge from the main gun. It's important that the seats are made safe before any work is carried out, because it is possible for the seats to fire whilst you're lifting them out. These seats are made by Martin Baker. They're Mark IVs, DA 1 and 2. Quite a common seat and fitted to other aircraft of this vintage other than the Vixen. Now we're bringing the hoist into place here so that we can lift the seats out. It is possible to lift the seats with two men, but you can see that the cockpit's quite confined. The seats are quite heavy, so it's easier and safer to pull the seats out using the hoist. Now Andy's just preparing the observer side now. The leg restraint connections at the bottom of the cockpit floor need to be disconnected, and you can see he's removing some cartridges from the seat. This one coming out now is one of the main gun cartridges which actually fire the seat from the aircraft. Quite a tight fit in the cockpit. The Vixen cockpit is quite compact. There isn't a lot of room to work in there. We're just putting the hoist on the seat now, ready to lift it. Andy's colleague Julian is there to assist once we've got the hoist connected. Okay, there's the seat coming out now. This is how the seat would come out of the aircraft if the pilot activated it. It's fired by the telescopic gun, and the seat comes up the rails and either through the canopy, or ideally the pilot would have jettisoned the canopy before ejection. You can see the seats are quite bulky and quite heavy, so it's better to be lifting them with a hoist if you can. The seats were serviced last year by SES, who baselined them basically, completely overhauled them, and as you can see they came back in absolutely mint condition, so we're really pleased with the results. That's the pilot seat coming off now. It's being laid on the deck here. We put it on some soft pads to protect the back of the seat. Here's the observer seat coming out now. We're removing it with the hatch fitted. In retrospect it probably would have been a bit easier to take the hatch off, but you can see from the hatch there it's got a clear perspex top. If the observer had to eject, he can eject straight through that frangible hatch, and that would be the ideal way of departing the aircraft rather than jettisoning the hatch beforehand. The observer seat is slightly different than the pilot seat in that it has some horns fitted to the top of the seat frame that would actually fracture the hatch perspex. Here's Andy's fitting a pin to the emergency oxygen bottle to make sure it doesn't fire, and there's the observer seat being laid on the soft pads. SES are a very experienced company. These two armourers are both ex-service, very experienced armourers, and they do a first-class job. These seats will now go back to the factory near Kemble for servicing, and also to be stored until we're ready to refit them in the spring.